Hi, my name's Mike Badham. I'm here today with David Foster, and we're here to announce an important strategic partnership between the iiBV and BVR. David, thank you so much for joining with the iiBV in our mission to build quality education in business valuations for distribution around the world. You know, our review of your platform indicates that it's probably one of the more robust platforms in the marketplace.
Yeah, well, we've had 10 years to discover both the good and the bad while we've developed the technology and the distribution capability. But it's all been around developing both our own content and then working with key partners like iiBV, who in our opinion bring the best in class.
It's part of the iiBV's plan to put these courses online. There's a challenge in getting the right format and the right quality in terms of getting it so that people are actually engaged while they're watching it on their computer in a different time zone.
Yeah, and you and I have had wonderful discussions about what's the state of the art in pedagogy, particularly online pedagogy. Everyone knows you can put some really terrible product into the marketplace. The common element is to be able to capture the best expertise that's in the field. And iiBV has some incredible trainers. They have a curriculum that's second to none. And so taking our expertise on online training, moving things onto the platform so that it's easy for people to participate in it and even higher quality.
Well, one of the things that interests the iiBV's members is the ability for them to be able to distribute some of your BVR products through their websites by linking, again, using your technology to link their websites into your website in a seamless way.
I'm flattered to hear you say that. Well, you've done more work than anyone, in my opinion, at starting that globalization process. Everyone at BVR has been fans of iiBV since you got involved.
I think there's a real opportunity for us to help build business valuation into a global profession that commands the respect of the public and the regulators. And I think we weren't going to be able to do that on our own. We needed a partner like you to help us get to that capability.
Right. Currently, about 17% of our customers are non-North American. Mm-hmm. But the growth of the profession is largely there. So we've been doing a lot of work over the last 5 years to develop both region-specific products and to build the marketing files to support that. And we hope, I think, if from a marketing point of view, if things work out well, the iiBV training and the online material that we hope to develop will be a lead product in kind of 1 + 1 = 3 expansion. The more people iiBV and BVR are in touch with within the profession, the more common interests will be identified, the more sense of professional community.
Thank you very much, David. I'd like to introduce now Ray Moran, who is chair of the iiBV's marketing committee. Ray, if you could join us.
We're intrigued on behalf of our member organizations and the people that we work with around the world over the prospects for helping bring about consistent education worldwide. How do you see the markets outside North America as potential for helping our industry?
Yeah, there's a lot of variation in the individual countries because you've got certain cases where the regulation of valuation is within a government agency, and many of those have adapted the international valuation standards, for instance. So you've got one group that's actually sort of ahead of North America as far as standardization, because they've got government mandated rules. Then you've got other places where there's no VPO, there's no government authority, and it looks more like the valuation profession looked in North America in the 1980s. As Shannon Pratt used to say, it was the Wild West back then,
Working with our various member organizations around the world, some have expressed interest in some of the iiBV website information being translated into Arabic and Chinese.
Yes.
You have a huge amount of content in
Yeah.
the business valuation industry. Are you
Yep.
considering translating that material for those local markets?
We've done a couple of those transactions. Primarily, there was a period 4 or 5 years ago where there were multiple Russian valuation VPOs, and we worked with several of them and had large bodies of content translated. I think there's a great chance there to work together because certainly from our point of view, a lot of the content we have is developed by leading valuation experts, some of the best specialists in their areas. Our authors and content creators would love to get their content out through translation, in particular to markets where they can't currently do that.
Well, the possibilities seem endless. While there obviously is a need for print material, there of course
Yeah.
is a need for online material.
Yeah.
I've had the good fortune of spent a lot of time in countries like China, Japan, Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
In Japan in particular,
Yeah.
while you have a great amount of webinars, they would love to see that in Japanese, of course.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
can you easily see that becoming part of your library of webinars?
I think there's two ways to approach that. One is translation rights on the existing content, which in BVR is we define that as our desktop learning center. Again, we've selectively translated specific programs at the request of people around the world, but to do that systemically would make a lot of sense. But I also think there are in places like Japan, there are a lot of very good practitioners on the ground, so it's actually not that complicated to go in and say, let's do a webinar series focusing on kind of the professional leadership. So the answer is both translation rights and new programming. I think approaching the need for nation-specific training that way.
We are always fascinated trying to quantify the number of business valuers, both North America as well as worldwide. Obviously, it's a very difficult task.
What we've discovered through all our partnerships and all the content marketing, all these techniques, is that people who practice business valuation are relatively full-time. Plus or minus, there are about 8,000 in North America. So if you take all of the non-North American markets, it's 3,500 to 5,000 people that BVR is aware of. The global market is smaller than the North American market a little bit, but it's growing. It's where the growth is. I often speak at publishing and information industry conferences on this, and the rule is that if you're working in an area that has high intellectual demands, like business valuation, the way I describe it is you're looking for the 6-word Google searches. Mm-hmm. What are the discounts for non-controlled positions in northern Poland? That's the level of Google search you need to be hitting, because those are the information needs serious professionals have. And right now, I think the people who are searching there, if they don't find BVR or the iiBV or some other group, they're mostly going to the global consulting firms.
David, one of the things we were just talking about, of course, are the major global consulting and Big Four accounting firms. And while this has been true in North America for a while, we're noticing many people leaving those firms, starting their own startup companies. Do you find the major market opportunities to be these emerging startup firms worldwide or the major consulting companies?
They're both huge opportunities for the profession at large and for BVR, but they have different needs because the independent firms are growing in both stature and importance internationally. And those individuals have needs around professional standards and best-in-class thinking and thought leadership. But the Big Four are adding to their valuation staff at the lower end of the profession, perhaps at an even higher rate. So they're still growing their valuation departments, and that's creating an increasing need for what I would say is a more tactical training, because you've literally got, a department in Marseille of a Big Four accounting firm that has 15 people doing transfer pricing analyses only. So they have a very tactical need to get those 15 people up to speed. So it's two different markets, two different needs, two different marketing strategies, but they're both growing. In North America, the legal profession's not growing. Accountancy, traditional A&A work, pretty flat, but the valuation profession is growing both at the top and at the bottom. So it's there's an argument that's the only growth profession right now. It's kind of interesting.
We've both spoken about our mutual interest in running the New York City Marathon. Your favorite experience other than finishing them, what would that be?
I think I've done the New York City Marathon 9 times, and the experience that comes to mind is one of the ones that I just had a terrible time. I was in trouble at the beginning, in trouble in the middle, but right at the end I got passed by a really good friend of mine who was probably 2 to 3 minutes a mile slower than I am, to give an indication. And the two of us finished, he dragged me across the finish line. And that, is like, thank you. You got me out of this mess. So that was a beautiful moment. I still have the picture.